everyone, hello and welcome to our first match of this evening where we have Sander the Quick and Tim Matthijs. Both of these are players that are quite solid fixtures in our community. A little game for the chat. Every time I say feel free to put it in the chat to point it out because I really need to get rid of that habit. At this point I don't know for sure what decks they are playing. Sander en Tim, kunnen de live totals aan de andere kant leggen? So at this point I'm not sure what deck they're playing. I'm expecting Sander to be playing green-black Aristocrats, so the Nantuko Husk concoction that has been tearing up our format. It's pretty much the meta game golem of our format. For people that are not familiar with Gentry, it's a budget version of Standard that allows a maximum of 4 uniquely different rares and or mythics and 15 uncommons total in your deck list. Also feel free to say hello in the chat, let me know if the music's too loud, too silent, anything I can do better. If you have any questions, wishes or resentments, just put them out there, I'll see what I can do for you. Alright, let's work together to make this as interesting as possible. And we're underway. So Sander has the Lone Dryad, one of the very strong opening plays for this deck. But Tim realizes the risk involved and immediately plays a Fiery Impulse to get it off the table. Apparently we have a little issue with the camera control. There we go. Okay. So autofocus should be gone now, so it doesn't try to get on their hands, but see that we still have a bit of an issue with clarity of the screen. Sorry for that, we're still working on improving. So in the meantime, Sander got out a second Lone Dryad and a Blister Pot. I kind of missed how it was answered. I think it was a second Fiery Impulse and the Bloodsucker. It's the 1/3 vampire that can get +2, -2 whenever you discard a card. Sander has an Elvish Visionary to draw up an extra card and the Lone Dryad to make an additional mana, dropping another Blister Pot. So if he can follow this up with a Nantuko Husk, this would be a pretty strong play. Tim in the meantime looks to be on some sort of madness plan. Could be vampires, could just be red madness. We'll see once he commits more cards to the board, or depending on which spells he plays, of course. So everybody's is my voice loud enough to understand? Because I'm getting some readouts that it's pretty low. Just let me know if it's good compared to the music as well. And we have a Fiery Temper discarded to push through some extra damage. Bit of a quiet time in the match right now. silently developing, adding some mana with the holdout settlement, and killing it with what's it called? Splinter. Damn it! Should really relearn the cards before I do it. Bone Splinter. That's it. So Sander has the board present here, and while Tim seems a bit stuck on mana, but his clock isn't that impressive right now. Uh, 2 mana, so I assume that's and the Scorch Recruiter. It's the early game, mid game, end game engine in the deck. Another one of the defining cards in our format as well. It sprung banned decks as well, and I'm expecting to see quite a lot more of it post rotation as well. You can So the Catacomb Sifter cost black green only because of the Krallen Horde, and he gets in for 3 damage with it. It's the Ember Wolf. That's a 1/2 haste that he can pump for 2 mana. And another Catacomb Sifter. So all Sander is missing at this point is a sacrifice outlet to go completely mental with this deck. And do pay attention that this is of just 2 lands, and Tim scoops them up. Wow, that was a bit of a sad first game. It did showcase how powerful the green core of cards is that Sander is using in his deck. That's the Loam Dryad, the Scorch Recruiter. Forms a pretty formidable base for any deck. So for the people that just joined in, welcome to round 1 of the Gentry, Gentry Standard ladder event. These players are vying for a spot in our local leaderboard that leads up to a finals event that will take place in just under a month on just over a month on just under a month on September 17th. Uh, both of these players are still in contention for a spot. On the other side of the room, we have Frederik Mortier, who is currently in the lead with a 2 match win point amount that received a bye for the first round, and who almost locked his top 1 seed for this season. And we're already up and ready for game 2 here. I wonder how Sander sideboarded, having seen so little of his opponent's deck. Like I said, it could be just vampires, or it could lean more towards X-Red Madness. So these aren't exactly the most comparable decks to sideboard against. If he's lucky, or if he knows his opponent's deck, he could have sideboarded correctly. Okay, let's see what we have for game 2. Tim is on the play this time. And his taking a look at his opening 7. I also want to point out that Sander's deck was only firing on half cylinders. There's an aspect of the deck we haven't seen at all at this point, which is the cutthroat and the Nantuko side. Once you have a sacrifice outlet and a few cutthroats, things can get pretty hairy for your opponents. Both players in the meantime choosing to mulligan to 6. We saw a bit of Sander's hand there that had no mana whatsoever for him. Okay, both players seem to be keeping their 6-card hands. And we're off to the races with the Timate's Mountain. Sander answering with his Blister Pot and getting on the board. The Bloodsucker Timate's has the exact opening of permanence, but this time it is Sander who goes on the removal plan. Do notice that this gives him a Scion that he could be using to accelerate his plays. He also has the Loam Dryad, giving him another mana. So we might be looking at a bit of an explosive next turn. Well, explosive. He has some mana available to him. Not sure what that is. If anyone recognizes the card, it's the second.
Welke kaart is dat?
It's the Fury Blade Vampire. One of the new additions from Eldritch Moon. So, Fury Blade Vampire. Just Fury Blade Vampire is a 1/2 trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may of your combat on your turn you may discard a card. If you do, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So it's a virtual 4/2 trample. And the Ember Wolves joins it. But in the meantime, Sander got his Catacomb Sifter, so he has quite a nice defense going. And threatens to gain advantage even when his opponent attacks because of the scry triggers that he gets when trading. And we have an Ulvenwald Mysteries, so Sander has his mid-game engine going with Catacomb Sifter and Ulvenwald Mysteries, are all his creatures just recycle into better creatures.